The Galactic invaders had crushed every world they encountered, but as their ships hovered above Earth, Captain Alex Morgan stood resolute. "Welcome to Earth, you bastards. Let's see how tough you really are." The tranquil morning skies over Earth shattered as the Krall invasion fleet descended through the atmosphere. Panic spread like wildfire as the ominous black ships blotted out the sun, casting a shadow over the world. Sirens wailed in major cities, alerting the population to seek shelter and brace for impact. Captain Alex Morgan stood at the command center, his eyes locked on the holographic display showing the descending fleet. His jaw clenched. He turned to his assembled officers. "This is it, people. The Krall have finally arrived. Let's show them that Earth isn't an easy target." The Krall, a ruthless alien race, had conquered countless planets, leaving only devastation in their wake. They had never faced significant resistance, making them overconfident. As their ships landed, their leader, General Zorak, sneered at the thought of another easy victory. "Prepare the assault units," Zorak ordered, his voice dripping with contempt. "We'll crush this planet just like the others." Earth's military forces scrambled into action. Tanks rolled through city streets and fighter jets roared into the sky. Citizens watched in fear and awe as their defenders mobilized against the looming threat. In the command center, Alex monitored the chaos, issuing rapid-fire commands to his officers. "Deploy ground units to the urban sectors. Use the terrain to our advantage. We can't match their tech, but we can outthink them," Alex said, his voice steady despite the urgency. The first wave of Krall soldiers stormed the city, their advanced weaponry cutting through defenses like butter. Buildings crumbled under the assault, and streets were littered with debris. Yet, Earth's defenders fought back fiercely, using guerrilla tactics in the urban environment to their advantage. Alex's voice came through the comms, calm and authoritative. Ambush teams hit them hard in the narrow streets. Keep them off balance. In one corner of the city, a squad of soldiers led by Sergeant Diaz ambushed a group of Krall. "For Earth," Diaz shouted as they opened fire, the Krall caught off guard by the ferocity of the attack. Despite the initial chaos, Earth's forces began to slow the Krall's advance. The invaders' overconfidence led them to underestimate the resolve and ingenuity of their human opponents. General Zorak, watching the battle unfold, felt the first pangs of doubt. "This is taking too long," Zorak growled. "What's the delay?" An officer replied nervously. "The humans are more resourceful than we anticipated, sir. They're using the terrain to their advantage." Alex, surveying the battlefield, saw an opportunity. "We've got them on the defensive. Time to push back. All units, advance." The Krall invasion spread rapidly across Earth, their forces deploying with a precision and arrogance born of countless easy conquests. Massive ships landed in major cities and strategic locations, their soldiers pouring out with the confidence of inevitable victory. Captain Alex Morgan stood in the command center, studying the holographic map that showed red dots spreading like a plague. He turned to his officers, determination etched on his face. "We can't match them in tech, but we have the home field advantage. Let's use it." The first wave of Krall forces moved into the dense forests of the Amazon. Expecting minimal resistance, they were taken aback by the sudden, coordinated attacks from Earth's defenders. Hidden in the foliage, snipers and ambush teams struck swiftly, using the terrain to their advantage. "Take out their officers first," Alex instructed over the comms. Disrupt their chain of command. In the Sahara Desert, Earth's forces lured Crawl units into carefully prepared traps. As the Crawl advanced, they encountered booby traps, mines, and hit-and-run tactics that left them disoriented and vulnerable. The desert's harsh environment only compounded their struggles. Meanwhile, in urban areas, guerrilla warfare erupted. Soldiers, civilians, and volunteers used the familiar labyrinth of buildings and streets to stage surprise attacks. In one fierce skirmish, Sergeant Diaz led a squad through the narrow alleys of a city, striking the Crawl with relentless precision. They're everywhere, sir. We can't hold them. A panicked soldier's voice crackled over the comms. Alex's reply was resolute. Hold the line. This is our home. Use the buildings for cover and keep moving. The Crawl, expecting an easy conquest, found themselves bogged down in a series of frustrating engagements. Their initial confidence wavered as they faced Earth's unconventional tactics and fierce resistance. General Zorak, watching the chaos unfold, slammed his fist onto the console. What's going on? Why are we being held back by these primitives? An officer, visibly shaken, replied, They're using their environment against us. We can't predict their movements. The turning point came in a dense forest, where a Crawl unit, advancing confidently, was suddenly ambushed from all sides. Earth's defenders, camouflaged and silent, struck with deadly efficiency. The Crawl were caught off guard, their formation shattered. As the Crawl retreated, Earth's forces pursued, pressing their advantage. The initial successes began to boost morale among the defenders. In the command center, Alex received reports of victories from various fronts, a rare smile breaking his usual stoic expression. We're making headway, he said. Keep the pressure on. We've shown them we're not an easy target. The command center buzzed with renewed energy as Captain Alex Morgan and his team analyzed the Crawl's tactics. Holographic displays flickered with real-time updates from battlefronts across the globe. Alex pointed to key locations on the map, his voice steady yet urgent. We've identified their weaknesses, Alex said, tracing lines between strategic points. We need to coordinate a global counteroffensive. Synchronize our efforts and hit them where it hurts. Earth's military leaders nodded, their faces set with grim determination. Messages went out to every corner of the world, rallying nations and civilians alike. The call to arms was answered by volunteers from all walks of life: farmers, scientists, students, and retired soldiers, all ready to defend their planet. In a converted factory, now serving as a makeshift armory, engineers and scientists worked tirelessly. Dr. Evelyn Harper, a brilliant physicist, adjusted her glasses as she oversaw the development of new weapons. We need something that can penetrate their shields, she muttered, her team nodding in agreement. Meanwhile, in the deserts of North Africa, troops prepared for a major offensive. Colonel Ibrahim al-Mazri briefed his soldiers, his voice carrying authority and hope. We use the terrain to our advantage. Remember, this is our land. We know it better than they ever will. The first coordinated attack took place in the ruins of a city, now a battleground. Earth's forces, using advanced technology and guerrilla tactics, launched a surprise assault on the Crawl's forward base. The Crawl, caught off guard, struggled to mount a defense against the relentless human onslaught. Hit them hard and keep moving. Alex's voice crackled over the comms, directing the assault from the command center. As the battle raged, reports flooded in of similar successes in other locations. In the dense jungles of the Amazon, guerrilla fighters used the cover of foliage to ambush Krau patrols. In the icy tundras of Siberia, special forces utilized the harsh environment to launch stealth attacks. The Krau, facing unexpected and effective resistance, grew desperate. They began targeting civilian areas, hoping to break Earth's spirit. News of these atrocities only fueled the defenders' resolve. Communities fortified themselves, transforming schools and town halls into command centers. In one decisive battle, in a dense urban environment, Earth's defenders showcased their tactical ingenuity. Narrow alleyways became kill zones, and rooftops provided vantage points for snipers. Alex, leading from the front lines, coordinated every move with precision. Focus fire on their command units. "Cut the head off the snake," Alex shouted, rallying his troops. The Krau, now fragmented and leaderless, began to falter. Their foothold on Earth weakened significantly as the human counteroffensive gained momentum. The battle, brutal and costly, ended in a decisive victory for Earth. General Zorak, witnessing the unraveling of his plans, slammed his fist against the console in frustration. "How are they outmaneuvering us?" An officer, trembling, replied, "Their tactics, their ingenuity. We underestimated them." The storm lashed the city, wind howling through the empty streets and rain hammering down like artillery fire. Lightning flashed, illuminating the skeletal remains of buildings and the desperate figures of Earth's defenders. Amidst the chaos, Captain Alex Morgan stood in the command center, drenched and determined. "They're launching a massive assault," reported Lieutenant Simmons, her voice barely audible over the storm's roar. "They're hoping this storm will give them the advantage." Alex's eyes narrowed. "They think they can use our own weather against us. Let's show them how wrong they are. Use the storm to our benefit. Set up ambushes in the narrow streets where the wind and rain are the worst." Outside, the Krau forces advanced, their armor glistening with rain. They moved with mechanical precision, confident in their overwhelming numbers and superior technology. But the storm was a wild card, complicating their assault as much as it did Earth's defense. Alex's voice crackled over the comms, directing his troops. "Focus on small, mobile units. Hit and run tactics. Use the buildings for cover. Don't give them a clear shot." In the midst of the storm, Earth's defenders sprang their traps. Small squads darted through the rain-slicked streets, emerging from hidden alcoves to strike and then disappearing into the deluge. The urban landscape became a battleground, each street and alley a potential death trap for the Krau. Sergeant Diaz led a group through a series of tight alleys, ambushing Krau soldiers who were struggling to maintain formation in the torrential rain. "Stay low and move fast," he barked. "We hit them hard and then vanish." Despite the brutal conditions, Earth's defenders fought with unmatched ferocity. The storm's fury made every engagement chaotic, with visibility reduced to mere feet and the roar of the wind masking movements. As the battle raged, Alex spotted an opportunity. The Krau Command Center was located in a high-rise that had been partially destroyed. If they could disable it, the Krau's coordination would collapse. "Lieutenant Simmons, gather a strike team," Alex ordered. "We're going to take out their command center." Under the cover of the storm, Alex and his team moved swiftly through the shattered cityscape. They navigated debris and avoided patrols, their progress aided by the storm's ferocity. Reaching the high-rise, they began their ascent, using grappling hooks and sheer determination to scale the crumbling structure. Inside, the Crawl were caught off guard. Alex led the charge, his team cutting through the enemy with ruthless efficiency. They reached the command center's core, planting charges on critical systems. "Fall back," Alex yelled. "We've got 10 seconds." The charges detonated, sending shockwaves through the building. The Crawl command structure collapsed, their coordination shattered. Outside, the Crawl forces faltered, their once disciplined advance turning into a chaotic retreat. General Zorak, witnessing the collapse of his assault, roared in frustration. "Retreat. We've underestimated them." Alex watched as the Crawl forces withdrew, a grim satisfaction settling over him. "This is our planet. We're not going anywhere." The days following the Crawl retreat were filled with celebration and relief. Streets that had been battlegrounds now hosted parades. Children waved flags, and music filled the air as people came together to honor their defenders. Captain Alex Morgan walked among the crowds, humbled by the outpouring of gratitude. A stage had been set up in the heart of the city, now adorned with banners from every nation. Alex stepped up to the podium, the cheers of the crowd fading to an anticipatory silence. His gaze swept over the faces of those who had fought and those who had lost. "Today, we celebrate a victory hard-won," Alex began, his voice steady but laden with emotion. "We honor the brave souls who stood against the Crawl and proved that Earth will not be conquered." The crowd erupted in applause, the sound of unity and triumph echoing through the city. As the celebrations continued, efforts to rebuild began in earnest. Volunteers from all walks of life joined hands, clearing rubble and restoring what had been lost. Engineers and architects worked tirelessly, their dedication a testament to humanity's resilience. In a quiet park, a ceremony was held to honor the fallen. Families gathered, holding each other close as names were read aloud. Alex stood at the forefront, his heart heavy yet proud. "We will remember their courage," he said, his voice breaking slightly. "And we will carry their legacy forward." News of Earth's unexpected victory spread rapidly across the galaxy, sending shockwaves through potential aggressors. Broadcasts depicted Earth's unity and resilience, a clear message to all. Earth was not to be underestimated. A Galactic news reporter captured the sentiment perfectly. "Earth's victory has sent shockwaves across the galaxy," she declared. "This once underestimated planet has shown remarkable strength and unity." In the wake of the victory, Earth's leaders convened to discuss the planet's future security. Alex was promoted, entrusted with overseeing the long-term defense strategy. New alliances were formed, and Earth's defenses were bolstered to prepare for any future threats. "We've shown the galaxy what we're made of," Alex told his team, a determined glint in his eyes. "Let's keep it that way." As the weeks turned into months, the scars of the invasion began to heal. Cities were rebuilt, and life slowly returned to normal. Alex often found himself reflecting on the journey, the losses endured, and the resilience displayed. He took solace in the unity that had emerged from the chaos, a bond forged in the fires of conflict. Standing on a hill overlooking the rebuilt city, Alex felt a sense of peace. The road had been long and arduous, but humanity had emerged stronger, united by a shared purpose and an unbreakable spirit. "We did it," he murmured to himself, a faint smile touching his lips. "We really did it,"